Okay, guys, I want to give you a bit of an update of where I'm at and some of the things that I've been listening to, which have been inspiring me lately, and in particular, life force in your work, in your business, in your life. So quick update on me. I don't know if you can see, but I'm standing up. I'm officially so much better. If you missed the podcast where I broke my ankle, you can go back and listen to that if you really need to, but I'm so much better and I can't even tell you what a relief that is. I mean, I'm still in my boot, but I've got another couple of weeks. Actually, by the time you listen to this podcast, I'll be walking around and it's a good feeling. Let me tell you, it's been a hell of a recovery. So to all my soul sisters out there who emailed, who also have a broken something, there's a lot of broken ankles. I got a lot of response to that email. I couldn't believe it. And I have to say, with this injury, everywhere I go, everybody stops me because I'm on crutches. I hear everybody's stories. They're like, yeah, I broke my ankle too, or I broke my leg, or I'm just like, wow, there's so many of us. Very common accident, okay? But I feel much better and can stand up. I can spend more time on my feet, which is great. But I'll be honest, I went through a really kind of lull. I found like even through the pain and all of that, but coming out through it, it got to a point of frustration and I lost my drive. I was just like, whatever, which is really unlike me. So it was a bit of a moment for me and a bit of a wintering moment. I ended up reading this book called Wintering. She talked about there were phases in our life due to illness, and it's always unexpected. Could be illness, divorce, financial loss, or nothing really occurring, just your body wants to go into a wintering moment where everything just slows down, you can't really work, and you just have to honour that, right? And that's where I was at. So anyway, but I'm back from that, and I should really do a podcast on that. I don't know if that'll be helpful, but I'm definitely back from that, feeling so much more like myself, turned a corner. And this podcast is going to be on the polar opposite of wintering. It's going to be about life force. So what came up in my Instagram feed the other day was a guy, Daniel Priestley, who's a business coach, entrepreneur. Anyway, he'd basically been to Necker Island to spend time with Richard Branson. And he said he took 3 big lessons away. And his first one was really quite interesting, I found, even hearing it, because so his biggest lesson that he saw from Richard Branson was that actually he values his number one priority in life is his vitality, is his life force, is his wellness above and beyond his business, which is really interesting, right? Because you think about someone like that who is a prolific entrepreneur, has opportunities around him all the time. There'll be so much urgency at his feet, right, to do more and invest in more and to play a bigger game. But actually he respects his wellness, vitality and life force. And he specifically talked about life force and because he exuded so much life force. And, you know, I talk about energy and I've talked about life force before, but life force is something a little bit different because I mean, when we have a very free-flowing life force, we've got a lot of energy, right? And our life force is more than just our energy because when you think about it, without energy, you can't do much, right? Without your vitality or your wellness, you won't be able to do much, right? Even from my experience, having a broken bone, multiple places, but still, I got to a point where I just couldn't really work. I mean, I was just in pain all the time and whatever it is, but without your health and wellness, you don't really realize this until it's gone, but without it, that is the only thing you want to fix when you're not well, right? It's the only thing on your mind, okay? And then when you're kind of humming along okay, you ignore it. And I found it really inspiring. I mean, obviously I spent a lifetime of my work teaching people how to be healthy, how to be well, and how to bring them back from chronic disease and how to live with more life force, live a fuller life, right? Have a better quality of life. But it was really interesting to hear that someone like Richard Branson, that is his number one priority as well. And I think it's easy to look at successful people, and I think that's 100% in our face, just more, perform, do more, be more, buy more, right? But it was really interesting to see someone who has so much is actually really his number one priority is health and wellness. And I love that. Obviously, for what I do, I love that. I loved hearing it. And I love that this guy, Daniel Priestley, that he walked away and that was what he saw, right? So he's really emanating that, like how important that is, not probably having conversations around it, but just they could see how important that was for him. Movement, physical movement, walking, riding, swimming, all these things, right? I think he's in his 70s. Anyway, so successful people normally have very high amounts of energy, okay? It's really a trait of successful people. Sometimes high energy people can be quite in your face. What he said was Richard Branson didn't really talk much. He just listened a lot. And so he had this very balanced energy, wasn't so much in your face, right? Anyway, very interesting. So let's talk about life force. What is life force? Well, life force is that energy that comes through us, right? So in naturopathic medicine, we know the philosophy of naturopathic medicine is that our job as naturopaths and as practitioners is to remove the blocks to your life force. Life force is the healing agent. So it's the energy behind life. It's the energy behind the universe, right? And so it's more spiritual rather than physical. And that is what does the healing. That is what guides our life, right? And so our life force is I kind of look at it like our energetic fingerprint. Our life force is infused in everything that we do, whether it be in our work, in our business, with our team, with our family, in your cooking, in your creating, in your writing, whatever it is. Our life force is infused in that. And so that animates everything that we create, and that has that energetic fingerprint there. And so it's good to be aware of it, right? It's good to be aware of how much life force. Is your life force really high? Is it really low? Is it feeling like, when I talk about the word life force, are you thinking, oh gosh, I'd love more of that because I'm not feeling it, right? And this is what I see in my work, right? So normally, because I'm dealing with women who are exhausted and burnt out, or just operating at this high level of stress for so long that it blocks the life force. You know, we talk about chronic disease, it's really a block of the life force. I've seen women who have, through a turn of events over a week or two, made different decisions, had a moment of clarity, and it's just unblocked their life force, right? And they've had these amazing healings in the body, right? Symptoms that they'd been struggling with for 10 years were gone. Now, that's not impossible to fathom, because at the end of the day, the diet, the supplements, all of that, what we're trying to do is unblock the life force, okay? So the healing agent within our body, the energetic navigator of our life, right, is our life force. And if we can do what we can do to prevent any blocks to our life force, okay, to enhance it, to make it front and center of our life, of our daily life, so it can infuse in everything that we do, making life a little bit more effortless for us, right? Because when you think about it, if you have to put your energy and your willpower and your grunt behind everything, that's exhausting. It's our life force that should carry us through, right? It's our life force that should be doing all the heavy lifting for us without it feeling so much efforting. Right? I hope that makes sense. It is a little bit, I guess, more spiritual, but that's what it is, right? We are human beings in a physical body, also spiritual beings, right? So we're here to have a physical experience, but, you know, one of the things I've noticed through my journey is just finding all the intricacies of the ankle and whatnot. And when I learn something new, I just think there is so much intelligence in our body. Like, we didn't create ourselves, right? We are carrying this really intelligently designed suit. And there's an intelligence behind that. One of the things that I learned was that I've been going back to the gym and exercising my good foot, because my trainer was saying that actually when you exercise the good leg, it will benefit the injured leg. And I was like, how does that happen? He's like, oh, they do it on athletes all the time. You know, there's a pretty substantial difference. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And so I asked my physio, and he said, yeah, because of the central nervous system, like you exercise this and the message goes up to the brain and it comes down evenly as stimulation to both sides. And I was like, that really makes sense. And I was like, how smart is that, right? So intelligent. So, you know, there's an intelligence behind all of life, and our life force is part of that, right? So that's how we tap into that. So the reason for this podcast is, you know, it's December. The new year is going to roll around very quickly. I want you to have a think about what your goals are for next year and look at where you are right now. Would you say you're someone with high energy that can go, 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 but also keep that energy quite balanced? Or are you someone that does what needs to be done without so much passion or enthusiasm behind it anymore? Or are you just tired? Have a look at what your New Year's goals are going to be. And I know that New Year's is such a cliche, but I think to start thinking about it now is really important. I know that we have a lot of women come into our programs in December because, particularly for women in business, we tend to have a little bit more time as things quieten down in business, but they don't want to wait till January, right? You already feel like you're behind the 8 ball on January the 1st, but to start now. So start by just considering, where are you at right now? Are you happy with where you're at? How much more would you enjoy your life with more energy, life force, and vitality? And if so, what can you do to change that? Leave me a comment below.